Hello, welcome to Whose Turn Is It Anyway? I'm back! It's Davey as first player, and I'm here with JP.
Hello.
Adrian.
Hello.
And Tambo.
Hello.
So today we're going to go through a gaming gym where we're pretty much going to lay out the mat and go through some exercises, how we like to teach games or games be taught to us, and maybe ways that we can improve ourselves or maybe help other people teach games, because it's not an easy thing.
No.
But before we go into that, how is everyone? How are you, JP?
I'm good. I'm just in awe of your enthusiasm for this intro. It's very good.
He's got all pop pickers, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. This is for charity, mate. I like it. I'm loving the energy.
Yeah, there we go. I'll bring it. I'm bringing it today. I can't promise every episode is going to be like this.
or even the end of this episode.
We have just come back from New Year. Let's face it. So, and we're in that kind of weird, we're back to work situation.
Yeah.
But all in all, pretty good. I'm actually looking forward to tonight. It's been a while since we recorded, in fairness. So I've got so many games that we played over Christmas and things like that. I can't talk about them all today, but we'll get into it. But yeah, doing well, mate. Doing
nice. And how about you, Adrian?
I think I've got toothache for probably like the second time in my life. Like I'd never had toothache before.
It's horrific.
Yeah, and for the first time I've got it, and obviously there must be something wrong back here. But other than that, actually, I'm all right. I've had a lot of good stuff happen over Christmas and New Year and all that kind of stuff, and so yeah, doing good.
Dosed up on painkillers, so
yeah,
extra enthusiasm.
I don't tend to do painkillers either. I try and avoid them like the plague.
Suffering.
So I'm just kind of suffering through it at the moment. But yeah.
There we go. How about you, Tambo?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's January now, so it's kind of the chill out month for me. So
nice.
I'm nice and chilled now.
You had a good party the other night as well?
I did have a good party. Yeah, it was good.
Tambo was representing with a nice...
I tried.
Turn Is It Anyway face paint.
Yeah.
Loved it.
We need to get on our Discord, don't we?
We should get that on the Discord.
Yeah, if you can read it, just look at it very closely. Yeah.
We'll zoom in.
Yeah.
Fine.
I read it as Whose Turn Kittens.
Kittens,
to start with. And I was like, oh, Tambo.
When they'd done it and took a picture, like, oh yeah, that's really good. As I'm being polite, it's like, I wish it was better than that.
Is it like getting a haircut when you go, yeah, that's fine, mate?
Yeah.
And you walk out livid.
Just
livid.
like,
You're like, you ruined it.
Yeah. Right, if you could see the table I'm at with that comment.
Yeah.
There's one haircut between three of you.
Yeah, back in the day, right?
I was talking about the naughties.
I did have hair at some point.
2003, it was relevant.
Know, I couldn't not, right?
As the one person actually repping hair. Yeah.
Who doesn't get it cut enough, if anything. Yeah. So, not rubbing it in.
JP in our group chat put, he's bloody repping, and the next thing all I could think of was Tambo in a Stormzy video. It's just like...
To see him with chasing status is the next thing, right?
That Stephen Tries video lives rent-free in my head. Where he basically does Stormzy, and if you haven't watched it, just watch it. It's stupid.
There's that, and there was the old man. Do you remember the old man doing like busking? It was a clearly like pro mode thing, but it's just like this 80-year-old bloke trying to do shut up, busking in the middle of like a high street, and it's brilliant.
Well, there's the old man Joe is like Baz and
those two. They're the grandparents.
The sons. That's it.
Is it
Ghostwrite them.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
But they're really good.
So good. Anyway.
Right, moving on from that, we're going to go into... Let's talk about Hex.
Let's get ready to...
Let's talk about Hex. There we go. I'm keeping the enthusiasm, JP. Do you
That's
like
good.
that?
I'll keep it up, mate. Keep it up.
There we go. So this is the section where we talk about what we've been playing recently. So let's start with Tambo. What have you been playing?
Nothing new from the group, unfortunately, but I did have my first experience of Burncycle with Rob and JP about 3 weeks ago.
It was ages ago now.
It was. It seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
It was good. I really enjoyed it. It was a bit of a slug, wasn't it? It was like an all day.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. But we did all 3 floors, right? So it's supposed to be a bit of a slug, that.
Big, long mission.
Yeah, big, long mission.
Yeah, Rob said it was the first time he's ever won.
Yeah. And he thought we weren't going to do it at one point. He was having a bit of a tantrum about it.
It's
like,
true.
who does that, right?
It's true.
Yeah. Who has these tantrums? But we ended up doing it. I did like the whole mechanic of it. I especially like the puzzle part of when you're trying to infiltrate the is it like when you go into the computer on your face?
Yeah,
the
network.
To do the network was a very good puzzle. I enjoyed that on the second of it.
Slightly programmy, isn't it?
Yeah, very programmy.
I think I will really enjoy this game, but I've still yet.
It's very stealthy. You got to really think about your moves. And I've really
Programming Metal Gear Solid, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah.
My character, we smashing through a lot of walls and making new doors. Nice. Not very stealthy, but it worked.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Maybe it's more Deus Ex.
I was going to say Rainbow Six Siege.
I think we picked a good set of agents for the mission, but by accident.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You had a nice combo.
We just kind of worked well together. We kind of fell into the right groove, I think. And because you were Casing, right? So Casing's this big, muscular robot who has a dice, right, that you can charge up, which means you can zip around or you can add it to strength, punching through walls and things like that. So Tambo is basically the muscle of the party.
That's right.
It was I can't even remember. Oh, I was processor. So I was like the de facto leader because he's the leader of the group and I can manipulate this Burncycle, which we haven't explained, but it's basically the programming bit. I can make it a lot more efficient. And then Rob, who was Rob?
He was the little robot that follows people, but he couldn't move unless he can't move unless he has a certain program, wasn't it?
Yeah. He took half the mission to figure him out, and then realised, this is what you're supposed to do, and basically started to.
But he can never get spotted, could he?
No.
So he was really good. He could just be in front of a robot and they wouldn't see him.
Yeah. Oh, but he can move by
But
himself.
he couldn't move. It's hard for him to move. He can follow people.
But then it doesn't necessarily penalise you if you end up in front of someone.
Yeah, we kind of liken him to Marty McFly from Back to the Future. So, he gets on the skateboard and then has to hang on to the back of vehicles to move. It kind of worked in a similar kind of way. So, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we left the first floor really early, didn't we, and you? And then Rob was behind because he couldn't move all the time. It took ages for it to do it like a car. But we got over that in the end. It was good. Really, really good. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely want to play it again.
It's a strange game.
Yeah.
It's Burncycle. So it's chip theory games for those that don't know. It's like an office dungeon crawler, but with a lot of stealth. It's weird. It won't be for everyone. Some people, it's going to be Marmite, right? So people are going to really love it and go, and some people go, what the hell is this kind of nonsense? But I still, like that game, I really enjoyed. Like we slogged through. I say slog's the wrong word because I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, we did enjoy it. I enjoyed it.
But it was like, it was a
Just a long game, right?
Long game, 6 hours or something we were playing it for, which is a long time. But
it's nothing compared to Twilight Imperium 6-player.
But we were invested in it, and I felt like everyone had a moment in that game to shine, which I loved, right? So Tambo did some awesome stuff. It's thank God he did that, and I did something similar, and so did Rob. So we all kind of contributed to this really complex puzzle. And at the parts, we were like, this is impossible. It's like, this is completely impossible. How are we going to do this? But we managed to, turn by turn, just make it work. And to the point where it was literally so close at the end, and we just did it. And it was like, yes! And then we went off for Christmas.
High fives around the table.
It was exactly what it was, yeah.
It was like, that was worth it.
That kind of makes it better, though, when you have moments like that.
Yeah.
That scenario is probably going to stick out for you because of how close you came to...
Yeah.
The challenge really kind of makes the game, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's like just a dungeon crawler puzzle, isn't it? There's no fighting in it, but it's just you can knock something out if you want to try and do it. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing. I've been wanting to play it for ages, but it's never kind of fallen on the right time because
it's hard to table.
Yeah, I mean, I think we played 45 minutes after a recording one day, and it was like, oh, that's quite cool. I need to see more of it because in 45 minutes, I think I've had 3 turns. Like it wasn't a lot, and so I'm like you, Davey. I'm intrigued to try it.
Like get one set up.
Yeah,
full game.
Yeah,
because even if it's because you can do just 2 floors, can't you?
Yeah, you do one.
Oh, can you?
You could do a 1-floor mission, 2-floor missions, or 3. We thought, well, we got the whole day, so let's just do whole 3 floors and give T the Burncycle experience end to end, because we had the time. But yeah, even 1 floor is probably a couple of hours, if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And again, depending on player count and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's if it sounds intriguing, it's kind of like whimsical robot set in the future. Stealth, the stealth mechanic in it is very impressive. It works really well, and like I say, it's just very puzzly and it's a challenge, So yeah,
there you go. Play some Burncycle.
Burncycle.
How about you, Adrian? What have you been playing?
Again, quite a lot of games over Christmas. I was quite fortunate with that. But what I'm going to talk about is Unmatched. So finally got a game in of Unmatched. I've been looking at the Unmatched series for quite a while, probably since like the first sort of set of the T-Rex and Jurassic Park came out, I was like, oh, maybe I'll pick up them, and then sort of didn't. And then eventually just managed to find a cheap copy of Marvel Redemption Row Unmatched, which has Moon Knight, who's one of my favourites in it, as well as Ghost Rider and Luke Cage, who are also like, I like them as superheroes. So I was like, yeah, I'll pick that one up. It was nice and cheap, and managed to get a game of it in. And the actual turns itself and the actual sort of rule book is really simple. So on your turn, you've got you got your superhero, you've got your health dial, and you've got a deck of cards. And there's a central board, and you basically start, if you're playing 2-player, you'll start at either end of this sort of square board in the furthest corners. And there's circles all over them with like split into like 4 or 5 different coloured areas. And each of them is each of the circles is linked up with a pathway. And that's kind of the base setup of what you've got. On your turn, you can do ultimately really one of 3 things plus anything your character can do. So on your turn, you can maneuver. Maneuver is draw a card, which you must do, and I'll explain why in a second, but you must draw a card, which you kind of want to do most of the time anyway, but it's sort of double-edged sword, and then you move your character, and your character will have a move value. So it will move 2, 3, 4, 5 circles, something like that. And then you'll just move them through. You can play a scheme, which is like an instant ability, and it's normally things like, refresh some tokens or gain some health or something along those lines. So again, nice and simple. Or you can attack. An attack is play an attack or versatile card face down for its attack value, and then your opponent places, if they want to, places a defense down. And then the difference between the two, plus any text or any other bits of ability, is the damage you do to them. Mm-hmm. And you win when your opponent is down to 0 health. Also with attacking, the reason why the board is split up into colours is a lot of characters will have melee, which means you need to be in the next circle to them, but some will have ranged. And ranged is simply you can target somebody else in the same colour zone as you. So it doesn't matter how many circles away you are, you just have to be in the same colour. And some of the circles will have 2 or 3 colours. So if they're right in the centre of the board, potentially you could be hit from anywhere.
Yeah.
And that is it. That is the basics of the game. They're the 3 actions you can do, and you're going to keep going until someone's on 0 health. And that might sound like a oversimplification, but what it's doing is it's setting a very basic framework for then all of the characters to interact in their very cool way.
Break the rules.
Yeah. So Moon Knight has his 3 personalities. And at the end of every turn, you will change to the next personality. And one personality moves 2 spaces at the start of their turn. One does one or 2 more attack, and one does 1 or 2 more defense. So at the end, so you're kind of wanting to attack when you're in Khonshu, I think it is, who wants to do the attacking stuff. When you're in Mr. Knight, you want to be doing the defensive stuff. And that's kind of how he works.
So it's all superhero with Moon Knight. They haven't got the personalities of Mark or...
Yeah, so you've got Mark Spector, Mr. Knight, and Khonshu, I think. Or is it Moon Knight, Khonshu, and Mr. Knight? Yeah, I think they might be the 3. Right. But it's 3 personalities in a deck that cycles through. And it might say, for instance, if you are in this phase or whatever, you can get more bonuses out of a certain card or whatever. And then in the game I played against Ghost Rider, and Ghost Rider has these 5 tokens that he spends, and he uses those tokens to do extra damage or to move further. And if he moves over somebody, which you can't normally move over someone, he'll do a point of damage. Whereas I had one of the personalities means you don't take damage apart from in a melee. So he was pointless while he was sort of moving over, doing that there. And then he'll play cards, which allows him to refresh stuff.
Are they like souls, the tokens? Or is it...
Yeah, they're like little skeleton hands, like through a fire thing. So I'm guessing I can't remember what they're called, but...
it's not like he's got his penance there.
Yeah, it might be penance tokens or something like that. But yeah, they're just 5 tokens that ultimately he's just going to spend for different bits and pieces. And then... Luke Cage comes with Misty Knight. So Luke Cage is melee attack, and Misty Knight is his sidekick, which is just a little token rather than the cool 3D model. And Misty Knight can do ranged attacks. When you've got more than one model in there, it might say on the card, this can only be played by Misty Knight or Luke Cage, for instance. And so you're kind of trying to make the best of both. But the reason why I mentioned the versatile cards is like Moon Knight, 90% of his cards were versatile, of his combat cards are versatile, so it means he can use them both for attack or defense as he needs them. Whereas Luke Cage had almost no versatile cards. They were more points of damage and more points of defense. So he was When he hit, he was going to hit
timing is
hard.
everything.
When he was going to defend, he was going to defend pretty much everything you threw at him. But you might not have both in your hand, or someone might be able to tease out all the defense cards with like little light ones and then attack. And so each of those decks are kind of doing completely different things, as well as the character ability. And the other thing is that the decks are all a different size. The reason why that matters is, if you remember at the start, I said if you maneuver, you draw a card, and you have to. If you can't draw a card, you lose a point of health.
See, fatigue kind of thing.
So there are some characters, I can't remember which ones particularly, but some characters have about 5 or 6 more cards in their deck than other characters. So kind of what you want to do is want to attack and flee, because in order for them to move up to you, they've got to draw a card. So you don't mind moving because you've got a bigger deck than they have, whereas they do mind moving because they're going to burn through their deck quicker by drawing more cards into their...
kind of thing.
Yeah, so you can kind of play that bit of kind of trying to keep them at arm's reach, attack and move, forcing them to move up, whereas what they probably want to do is just sit there and wail on you basically at arm's range. And as you can probably tell, I found it a fantastic... I'm not really one for like these like 1v1 battler kind of games. I prefer like Warhammer or something like that for that kind of experience. Obviously that's a bit bigger, but that's kind of my preference. But this was just really neat, and I couldn't wait to explore more characters.
Because you've got the Marvel one, I guess.
So I've got the Redemption row.
Redemption, yep.
After that game, I then picked up Teen Spirit,
Squirrel Girl,
Miss Marvel, and Cloak and Dagger. And then I picked up Hell's Kitchen, which is Elektra, Daredevil, and Bullseye.
Because I think Unmatched, they don't only do Marvel, they do a lot of other, don't they?
And you can
I
mix
think there's Batman as well, isn't there?
No, there's no DC.
Is there no DC?
No.
There's Bruce Lee.
There's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Jurassic
and
Park.
Is there...
Then there's
Extraordinary League of Gentlemen or something.
kind of,
as
so
well,
they've
with
got
Dr.
the
Jekyll.
battles
Stone.
they've got Cobble and Stone, and they've got battles, legends of battles. So you've got like, you know, Hercules or whoever it is, and then you've got I think there's Sherlock Holmes and Jekyll and Hyde and stuff like that.
That's the other one.
So there's, and you can take there's Bruce Lee versus Muhammad Ali. You know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can take any set of characters and use them against any other set of characters.
Versus Sherlock
Leonardo,
Holmes.
yeah. So you can do that, and they all come with a slightly different board that works. It's not massive difference, but they work slightly differently. And most of these boards come with like some tokens that you can randomize up and place on the board that you use, and they'll give you +1 attack or defense, or discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards, and those kind of things that you can do. And that's it. You get 2 actions on each turn, so you're going to move and hit, or scheme and hit, or move and scheme, or whatever it is, and that's what you're gonna keep doing until someone runs out of health. And it's
nice that it's easy to pick up, and the complexity comes with the characters you play. So it's going to be easy to teach someone the core concept of the game, and then it's just up to them to work out how to beat you and how to play it via what cards they get.
It's a 5-minute teach, it really is, and then everything else, and then quite often there's like a little bit of a blurb in the back of the rule book about characters and stuff like that. But if you have a flick through, now that I kind of know what I'm doing, I reckon I could probably tell you what the characters can do with a quick flick through the deck and their cards, because they all have different health values, they'll all have different movement, and that's where all of the differences come in, is in those abilities.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It's really, and you can play up to 4 players. The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one is a co-op version.
Oh, cool.
Which they've had a co-op version before, but this one is a co-op version, but you can take all of the characters, including the bad guys, and play them against each other, whereas you couldn't do that with the first one. They were kind of locked to being co-op. So I think there's loads of potential here, and I really kind of want to pick up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to play the co-op.
Yeah,
just so I can be Donatello.
No. Sorry.
Is that your favourite?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's usually no one's
Absolutely
favourite.
I was going to say
not.
Raphael.
No, Donatello, the little nerdy one.
Yeah.
The dirty one that builds all the machines.
That does all the cool stuff and has a little robot.
Right, there we go then. So that's Unmatched.
Unmatched.
Sounds really good. Look forward to playing it. How about you, JP? What have you been playing?
Playing lots, but before Christmas, I picked up Earthborne Rangers, and I've hit that game hard, to be honest. I've kind of slowed down on it a little bit, but when I got it, I just went all in, playing lots and lots and lots of it. So for those that don't know what it is, Earthborne Rangers is a game which is basically it's a card game, but it's kind of sandbox, open world card game. Plays it's really hard to compare it, but it's kind of got LCG kind of vibes with it. So if you like play your Arkham Horror card game, that kind of thing.
Less contained though, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Really sandboxy.
Completely less contained. Whereas Arkham Horror, you have scenarios and you play for a scenario and you beat it and you go, done, well done, we won. Hey, this is a pretty much Breath of the Wild style Zelda open world experience. And you start off in a place and you don't really know what's going on. The whole aesthetic of the world is set in the future where nature has kind of reclaimed the earth. Everything's green, it's lush. Nature is there all around. There's technology out there in the world, but it's not kind of what you'd expect, like a cyberpunk dystopian.
It's like nature punk, isn't it? Right?
Nature punk, yeah. Solar punk.
Solar punk.
So it's just really lush and ravaged and all that kind of stuff. And you kind of start the game basically going, you do a few things and you have to deliver some biscuits. This is how it starts. Well, I'm not spoiling anything, really, I'm not. And you basically get given some biscuits from this chief from this village, and he's like, right, you're a ranger, you've got to go off and deliver the biscuits to the neighbouring village. Okay, righto, and off you go, and you go and deliver said biscuits. And from there, everything kind of explodes and opens up with side quests, with NPCs and all of this stuff that whoever you meet, whatever you do, it just like, I've got this thing, this is cool, I found this reward, and the adventure basically continues. And the way this works, and it still blows my mind because it's just cards, just a set of cards, right? And you can travel around whenever you want with conditions, and I'll explain that in a bit. But you can travel from different places. You get a big map with different locations on. And yeah, the game doesn't kind of restrict you. It's like, just do what you want. And obviously it guides you. There's a main story, just like in any RPG. So it's not completely like just do what you want, doesn't really matter.
It's kind of more of a timer, the main story though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's driving you towards conclusions. But whilst you're going to this direction, you can go off and do side quests and things like that. So imagine that's kind of how it is. So I liken it to the kind of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but card game format where you kind of do these things. So mechanically, you have a deck. Your deck is your ranger. If you play the prologue, which I did when I set up, the prologue takes you through how you set your ranger up, and it all asks you questions like, what sort of job do you want? What's your background? What's this? What's that? And you're taking sets of cards as you build against your aspect, and your aspect is basically a grid of 4 different attributes of like fitness and focus and awareness and spirit, which is red, blue, green, and yellow. And you'll be good at one thing, crap at one thing, and usually average on the other 2. And you'll be kind of building your deck in the prologue as you go. And you go, I fancy doing this. I fancy being a herbologist and being really good with like foraging and things like that, or you might be good at tinkering with tech or whatever it might be. So you kind of build all this deck up, and then suddenly this is your character, and off you go in the world. So when you go to a location, at the top you'll have your location card which says this is kind of where you are or where you are journeying to, and every kind of trail on the map has different kind of biome types. So you've got, this is a woodland, this is grassland, this is the rivers, or this is ravines or whatever. And they have a set amount of kind of cards that you'll shuffle into this path deck. If it's like a pivotal location, so it's like a big city or whatever, you'll get some specific cards that go in. If it's not, if it's just a general run-of-the-mill location, you'll get these generic kind of valley cards that go in. But either way, you've got this path deck.
Which are kind of random from the deck, so they can be different every time.
It's like 3, isn't it? So 3 that are, we don't know what they're going to be until they come out and surprise you. So you're shuffling this path deck, which is basically full of nature, wildlife, sometimes, oh my God, it's a thicket. And sometimes it's a foxy thing or whatever. It could be all sorts of different things. And when you're playing, you have these things in the game terms it as within reach and along the way. Right? And then you've got your location at the top. So along the way is like sits under the location, and for every player, it's kind of the barrier between the end location and where you are. And within reach is your personal player's set of kind of path cards that sits between you and along the way. So you kind of have this kind of 3-tier kind of set of cards to kind of get through. And each of these cards has like I forget what they call it, a presence or an awareness, not awareness. It's a number. I cannot remember the life of me what it's actually called, but it's essentially the things that in order for you to kind of bypass, if you don't want to deal with it and you want to bypass to do a card behind it, you would fatigue. And you fatigue your deck, you literally just discard into a fatigue deck the amount that it says on the card. So sometimes you're in a situation where nature's just overwhelming you. And sometimes some cards will say it's an obstacle. It's a tough crap. You can't just walk by it. It's a bloody cliff. And you've got to kind of deal with it or do something else.
Like a lump of rubble.
Yeah.
If it's like Breath of the Wild, you just climb over it.
Yeah, you just go. Yeah. Until you run out of stamina and fall off. What's quite good is if you can, how you deal with these things are just through challenges, through tests. So it goes back to your kind of your aspects,
and
attributes where you have energy stored on them. So you would spend energy to commit that to a relevant test. So you always have generic tests that you can do, all 4. One is traverse, so you can kind of traverse the path, which is essentially walking along to get to where you need to. One is connection, where you can try and connect with beings. So beings can be people, they can be animals, all that kind of stuff.
It's a way of filling up the influence, isn't it?
Yeah. So, and usually on the cards, they have 2 values that you can satisfy to get rid of them. One is through traversal and through connecting with people, and the other one's through harming it. So it might be that other things might happen that harms this other thing. So an example of that would be you might have a deer that pops up
and eats your biscuits
and does not eat your biscuits, but then you might have a predator that pops up. And the way that these cards interact is so clever, because when you do a test, you pull a card, a challenge card, and on that card it will say plus or minus depending on the attribute you're testing against. And then at the bottom of it, there's 1 or 3 symbols. And depending on which one's shown, then activates all of the cards with that symbol on. So if it's a red symbol, you check across the top, the location, you check along the way, you check within reach, and you're triggering all of those cards. So this is how then predators stalk their prey. And this is how they then attack the things, or you, and things like that. So it's just this kind of whole thing comes to life in a real clever way.
They've like sequenced it as well. So if the prey was there and the predator was out, it would say you attack the prey. And if there was no prey there, then it would attack you.
Yeah, it's like, well, you're the prey.
Because now you're the prey, right?
Yeah.
So it is very well done.
Just really clever. So yeah, it's kind of, you're playing the game. You've got the campaign as such is 30 days in the base game, and a session is really going through a day, and your day runs out when your deck runs out, and you got to get to a point where you're fatigued and you're knackered and you've been trying to get to where you need to go. But generally, every round that you do, you always have a chance to travel, providing you fulfilled the traversal on the location card. If you've done that, you can travel and off you go. So even midday, you can go, right, I'm off to the next place, and you get the new location, get the path deck, and then create it. And then, by the time you get towards the bottom, you're looking, I only got like 2 cards left. I probably should rest, but you can only rest if you fulfill the location kind of traversal requirement. And if you rest, happy days, you can start respecking your deck to all the available cards, because as I say, you might unlock rewards. I won't spoil anything, but you might unlock things for helping other people, these NPCs that pop up and you go, yes, I'll come and help you. And just generally fulfilling missions and things like that. So then you can kind of go, you know what, I really need that bit of kit that I've unlocked, and I'm going to throw that in the deck and then get rid of that. Because you'll always have, I think, 30 cards. So you're kind of chucking things in and out. If you rest properly, you can do all of that. If you don't, because you just get to the bottom of the deck and you haven't fulfilled getting out of the area, you kind of go, whoops, I'm a bit knackered, I've just fallen asleep. And then you have to kind of deal with what you have. It's not the end of the world. But there are things in the game that can injure you. But it's just quite pleasant. I find
it's good. It's good fun. There's cool little combos you can get off. Like when you think you're going to fatigue as well. Like I was like, oh no, I'm just like getting rid of cards. But then sometimes there might be quests you do that refill your fatigue. So it's actually better to fatigue them, because when you soothe, you don't put it back on top of your deck, you draw into your hand as well. So you're actually making use of being fatigued instead.
Yeah.
So there's equipment you get out as well, which modify and happen when you're doing checks, or can combo off of like playing a card. So you then basically play it for free, or then get a token back. And yeah, it's just, I enjoy it as well.
Just all sorts of card game nonsense, but in a really nice experience. And I say I'm on day 17 now.
It's kind of like choose your own adventure with a LCG, right?
Yeah. So I'm over halfway. Like I say, I have slowed down on it, but I think that's Christmas and everything else that's been going on. There's still part of me going, I need to finish that. But I kind of picked this up as a bit of an experiment for me to say, because I always say campaign games, no thanks. But actually what it is campaign games are great. I just don't want to schedule them with people all the time.
Yeah.
I've been being honest. Like,
It's just a D&D thing, isn't it? It's a typical RPG thing. If you've got to get 4 people around a table on a regular basis, it will fail at some point.
Yeah. Which is why I think 2 players, it will sing as well, because it's going to be a lot easier to arrange. I think with 4 players sitting there not interacting for a while, there's going to be too much downtime. So I do think 2 players where it really shines.
That's why the Pandemic Legacy's at 2 player in the end, because it was just like, well, I can actually get through this in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
And so I can imagine being exactly the same way. You'd go, right, okay, well, actually, 2 of us can meet up every other week or whatever, and it won't take much scheduling, really.
Yeah.
But if people are wondering if can you play this solo, yes, you can absolutely play solo. The only thing it does say is make sure you pick an aspect where your fitness is at least 2. And now playing it, I get why.
Yeah, I get why as well.
Because you need fitness to move around.
Yeah.
And if your fitness is weak,
you're not going to be traveling. You're not going to go anywhere.
You basically go, I'm naked.
Sounds like part of the game is traveling, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, sounds really good. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
It's definitely worth it. It's great. I'm enjoying it. Want to finish it. I want to see where it goes. And yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. On your recommendation, I got a GridCon, and I've actually played it solo, and it was one of the few games I didn't actually mind, because I kind of set it up and was able to just go back to it and play it.
Yeah,
and to be like pick it straight back up, as long as I documented it accordingly. It was quite easy to go, and actually once you've organised it to start with, which I looked up online at the best way to organise it, and I followed that guide, and there was one in the rule book, but I just found one online. I found it a bit easier. Once that's set up, it's actually really easy to just pick out and play as well, which is, for me, is a major point of the game.
There we go. What about you then, mate?
So I played Kinfire Council. We finally got it to the table. This is ever since the episode with the Expo where we got a little bit of a dodgy demo, but Philip Hatch from All About Games kindly sent us a copy to get it properly to the table. So I learned the rules. I still cocked up one rule, so
a big one,
quite a big one. Yeah, it did feel very tight throughout the whole game. We were like, "Oh god, this is really tight," and it was like, "Oh, I accidentally dealt an extra worker to everyone." Whereas it's meant to be, it was meant to be 4.
It happens.
The amount of players, but we had 5.
Too many workers, too many Cylons. It happens in many games.
Exactly. So, but what we did experience, so if you don't know what Kinfire Council is, it's set in the Kinfire universe, which is a great little universe created by Incredible Dream Studios. So we've talked about Kinfire Delve before. This is Kinfire Council, where you're trying to become the best council member there is within the city, which is called Dalton, I think, or something like that. Dalton.
Take your word for it.
Dalton Abbey, no. And it's the worker placement side of it is kind of your average worker placement, but you have a special power that attaches to these worker sheets, which everyone has a special power. So there's like a scholar where when you put it out and get a resource, you can get a book instead. These books kind of have lots of abilities on that you can play or give you resources and can be played at any time. You then got worker spaces, which this is one of the greatest bits I loved as well, is the organisers of the game then also become your kind of worker placement spots. So they become tiered. So you've got your lower tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and then afterwards you just take those off and put everything in the nice organisers at the bottom, and it fits into the box really nicely.
It's a nice touch.
It is a nice touch. So it's really easy to get out and set up, and really easy to pack down. But yeah, so tier 1, there's no tax. Tier 2, there's 1 coin tax, and Tier 3 is 2 coin tax. So it costs you to go to those spaces. Unless my character basically could spend, because he's going to the coffers.
Yeah.
My character had a power.
Are you the HMRC?
You just spend from the coffers. Oh, so frustrating.
My tax didn't go back into the coffers, so I wasn't, it's not self-perpetuating. I have to spend it into the general supply, but I have to wait till other people maybe go into the higher tiers. But I kind of built myself so I didn't have to worry about money too much, which was nice.
Wish you could do that in real life.
Yeah, I know. And then, so at the start of the round, I'll kind of go through it. So at the start of the round, there are 2 cards that are pulled, which is like an order, a law, maybe an event you have to deal with, or one of the other one, which is maybe there's only 3. We only saw 3 that game. I think there is another one, but I'm forgetting. But these you kind of vote on as the game goes along.
Right.
And depending on who has the most votes, gets to choose whether it's passed and it comes into play, or whether it's just discarded and we ignore it. So crises, which are ones that will come out. It's crisis and an event. So crises that will come out will help the cult, which I haven't described the cult yet, but I'll go into that in a second. Events might be things that happen. Orders are things that happen instantly. So it might be, say, something you get VPs depending on how many cultists everyone's killed, and crises put up the VP tracker of the cults. And then laws change, basically, they're like endgame scoring as well as they change like how the game is played. So these are quite important to vote on. It's a cool little caveat to a normal worker placement. And then there's the cultists. So the cultists, if they have the most VPs, everyone loses. Yeah.
Okay.
So they take over us on VPs.
But
at any point,
there is a little track that you can put your influence on, and influence is how you do everything. At the start, you only start with 4. And when you vote, you have to put your influence out. When you do build a bit of the lighthouse, which is for VPs, you have to put your influence out to mark you've done it. So at the start, there's only 4 markers that you have, but there's ways in the game to gain it through worker placement spots, through laws or orders. There's lots of ways to gain influence as the game goes on. But to become the cultist leader, which is a way of winning if the cultists have the most VPs, is you have to put your influence out. But that'll stay there for the rest of the game, which means you're kind of taking from your pool. Also, everyone will see that you're doing that, so you don't really want to maybe do that early. You would kind of want to, because it's literally, it's not like it's a hidden role. It's in front of everyone. You're saying, "Oh, I'm screwing the town over. I'm trying to be bad." So people can then fight over that as well, and it's the person who has the most in this pool that basically becomes the cultist leader. Which Rob saw that he was kind of losing and thought, "Oh, I'll see how it goes." Because right at the end, you pull these cultists from the bag, they get put into spots, so they block up worker spots.
Right.
And then you also pull cultist cards, which are threats that you have to deal with your special worker, or
if you don't, more cultist stuff comes out.
Yeah, and we started off really good. We were like arresting the cultist, because to arrest the cultist, you can go on the space that's adjacent to it and arrest that cultist, unless it's on the next tier up. And you gain that cultist as a resource later to trade.
But you do that instead of doing the action, though.
But you do it instead of the action that you go on. Unless you upgrade the worker and get something called guard, which means you can do both. But none of us really did that.
No, we didn't.
And at the start, everyone was arresting the cultists, being really good, helping each other, because it frees up that spot that's underneath the cultists, which means someone else can go there. Late game, everyone's like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Too competitive.
It's freeing up that space, because everyone's just like tight for VPs. And suddenly the whole town was overrun for cultists and no one could do anything. And it was just like, oh, we've kind of screwed ourselves and backed ourselves in the corner. And then Rob was like, right, I'm going to try and join the cultists, and just screwed us over even more. And luckily the cultists were so far behind, because we did really well at dealing with them early on. Because when you deal with threats, you get lump VPs as well. And there's lots of cool little spaces to do, like trade in a cultist and a threat card to get really good resources back, and VPs and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different avenues you can go down by the looks of it. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Great little experience. It doesn't try to bring anything new to what worker placement is, but it does what it's doing really well. And it has enough unique aspects that are incorporated on top of your worker placement game to make it interesting and to keep you coming back to it.
You draw 3 top threat cards and you put them at the top side.
Yeah.
So there's 3 threat cards that will get revealed right at the end.
Right.
They've all got high VPs in them, so that's what the cultists will score definitely. So you've got to keep yourself ahead of the cultists at least.
By that amount.
20 points. You don't know how much it is, but it could be a lot.
Yeah. You've got to factor in that
Got to
there's a
factor
surge
in
at the end that
the
they're
surge
going
at
to
the
get.
end.
And if they beat you, any of you, they win, right?
Yep.
Right,
They go,
okay.
yeah.
So if the cultists, if you don't clear up the cultists early on, they just can continue to fill up the board each round.
Yeah.
They don't go away at the end of turn. And
Well, you resolve them by... so they've got numbers on them.
Right.
When you bring them out, and they'll go to that numbered space.
okay,
That's how cards are then drawn. So if you draw a number 1, you'll pull a card into the number 1 slot. If
Right.
you draw another number, I think it's like 1 to 9. Yeah. If you draw out a 9, you put a threat on it. And basically on that card, it's got the amount of threat tokens that have to go onto it for it to basically go off. And
Right,
a bad thing will happen. So the more of the same number that you pull,
yeah,
and if you don't deal with them, you start drawing more and more, which will start building up this threat.
right, okay.
But I think there's at the end, if you don't deal with them, you resolve them again, and all those numbers will put more threat on again.
And when the threat hits the amount, they get the VPs on the card.
Yeah.
And they get the points.
Yeah, no, That's, I was just trying to work out because the idea of
So that will clear them after their threat.
Yeah,
right,
the ghost.
okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say the idea of a board that, because obviously blocking out spaces each turn is nothing new, as you say, it's sort of not reinventing the wheel. But the idea that those spaces are going to continue to escalate or do
it
something
can escalate if the card goes off. So if the
Yeah.
card goes off, it can bring 3 more cultists into the game, which is horrible. And
Yeah.
also there's leaders which will draw all of the cards out or put threat on all of the cards. And if 2 of those leaders come out, it kind of refreshes the bag. So you don't keep getting the same numbers out because they don't go back into the bag. But if you've captured them, they go back into the bag as well. So you've got to spend your cultists pretty soonish after you get them, because there is a chance that they might just go back into the bag after you've got them.
Feral.
So, yeah.
I'm intrigued now. I'll be honest with you. Like, it was one of those where I looked at it and I thought, yeah, this looks cool. I'll give it a go at some point. But I'm now really intrigued, because I now want to see what this combination of, because there's a couple of worker placement games out there that you can fill up a spot not to use it kind of thing, which is kind of what you're doing when you're arresting, right? You're kind of filling up a spot not to use the spot, so you can use it to arrest someone but also stop someone else going there and stuff like that.
Yep.
So you've got this sort of escalation of threat coming out by
Which you kind of have to work together for.
Yeah.
But you also don't want someone running away with the points and doing really well. So it's got a nice push and pull there.
I'm intrigued. Yeah, it's just elevated what sort of I thought was going on in the game. So
Yeah.
I'm now really intrigued to try
I
this.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Definitely looking forward to getting it to the table again.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Let's do it.
So that's Kinfire Council. And I used Paul's video to teach me the game. So thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul, as always.
Gaming rules.
Is that before or after he delivered Jaffa cakes to them in Earthborne Rangers?
Yeah.
Yes, biscuits.
All right. So going on to the main section of our podcast. Onto the gaming gym. So, in this section, we're going to talk about, not me gaming, but we're going to talk about how we think we could make other people's gaming experiences better. So, this is during the teach. This could be if you're having to demo a game. This could be while you're playing the game. So, I'm going to start, and I'm my kind of, it's not really a tip at the moment, but I always struggle, and I'm going to see if you guys can help me here and train me. I always struggle while I'm teaching a game and playing a game. I always seem to do worse because you're focusing on other people's games kind of more than yourself sometimes, because you're teaching them the game, especially if it's a more complicated game, say. Yeah. And then I'll do worse, especially if it's a game I know well, because say, and I'm going to use this as an example, over the 24-hour marathon, I taught Terraforming Mars, and I was trying to make sure that everyone was getting a good feel of the game. Kind of forgot about my own game plan, and then, I very nearly lost that game against two new people. I didn't, but I still struggled with trying to play my own game as well as help other people. So I don't know whether you guys have any tips for this.
No.
Accept
No.
it. Like genuinely accept that will happen to some extent. I think there is ways of you kind of using markers and stuff like that to kind of keep track of what you want to go after. But I would much rather that everyone didn't forget, when you go up this track you need to do this and stuff like that. And so therefore I'll pay more attention to what they're doing.
Yep.
Knowing that I won't do
trying to make sure that they have an enjoyable experience, right?
Because then you can play a second game and then you can think, sod them, they know it all now. Like, I get to play my game on the second time round, if you really want to think of it that way. But yeah, I think I personally am of the opinion that you kind of have to accept that if you want to do a good first teach whilst you're playing, the likelihood is you'll pay slightly less attention to yourself.
Yeah. You're weakening your own play for sure, but for the right reasons. But you got to remember, what's the goal? The goal isn't to get newbies and smash them into oblivion,
them.
Even though that might be fun.
But fun for one person. That's the problem,
exactly.
Right?
But I suffer from it all the time. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. But it doesn't bother me. That's the thing. It's like if we've got 3 people around the table who have never played a game, and GridCon's usually the one for that. Like sometimes we wheel a Lacerda out, and there's noobs that haven't played it. It's fine if they got out and went, yeah, that was cool and enjoyed it. I don't really care who won or didn't, to be honest. And I think you're right. I'm with you, Adrian. Accept it. It's going to happen. I don't think you can, for complex, heavy games, you can lend yourself to the teach, helping people and have all those plates spinning at the same time and be really efficient. Something's going to slip, right? We're human.
There is a bit of a fun twist, I think, on this as well, which is you can sort of vicariously play through them. So you can kind of think, how would I play this turn? What am I thinking about if I'm them? And stuff like that. And not playing their turns for them.
As long as you don't start going into the outfit.
No, absolutely. Don't start and be like, well, you know what, you really should do this
Shouldn't
turn.
do that. That's rubbish.
But you can certainly think about, okay, they're in that position. What would I be looking to do next?
Tough love. That's a crap turn. Why are you doing that?
Yeah. Take it back. Take that piece back.
Take that back and do a proper move,
Like
will you?
a piece out of their hand.
So not that is what I'm recommending. What I'm recommending is, okay, so they've set themselves up to do this. I think they should do that next.
Yeah.
And sort of just kind of, you can kind of play, which I think is a good thing to quite often do, even when you're not teaching. You can kind of play other people's turns out in your head, but because you're trying to get them to learn things, you're probably doing it a little bit more anyway, and you can make a bit more of a thing out of it. Is seeing if you can keep track of 4 people's strategies or once.
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation. I think if you're at a convention, you don't really have time to prepare for anything, and sometimes you've just got a sign on the table that says looking for players, and people turn up, right? How do you play this then? And you're in that situation. I think you absolutely just got to do what you got to do, and everyone has that contract around the table that says meh, whatever.
Yeah.
If you've got a game night and you've planned it, and there's new people coming, not new people, but people that haven't played that particular game, then obviously use the resources. Yeah, there's resources out there. Go and check it out. Like bone up. Mm-hmm. This will help you, and it will help yourself as the teacher, because you won't have to do maybe as thorough a teach if they've prepared themselves. So it just depends, doesn't it?
So in that situation, some of the responsibility goes on to the player as well, as to maybe learn a little bit about the game, especially if you know that you don't pick up games maybe as quickly as other people do, because some people do have a knack with picking up. Some people take a little bit longer, but they'll refine strategies. So some of that responsibility goes on to the player. Bone up beforehand, and also help the person teaching, right?
Yes, I'd say so. I know we have a difference of opinion in our gaming group of this very topic. We talked about it, I think, probably 2 years ago. Yeah. But and sorry, Curly, I'm going to have to throw you here. But I know he's very much of the opinion that the player is turning up, is responsible to know how it goes. He will teach, don't get me wrong, but there's a level of expectation that you're coming with knowledge, or at least some form of knowledge. Whereas me, if I'm hosting the game night and I want to play the game that I own, I feel it's my responsibility to teach you. Mm-hmm. If you want to look at resources to help me out, I'm not going to say no. Mm-hmm. But and you're right, Davey. I think if you're turning up, and you're a good example of this, if you're turning up to one of my game nights and you haven't played, I don't worry. I'll be honest, I don't worry because I know you'll pick games up in your own unique way, which is just
annoying.
learn the language. Not annoying. It's just the way Davey picks it up. It's like, here's the language, go and learn it, and he's like, got it, let's move on. And sometimes there'll be a few things missed. We had it with Ada's Dream the other night. There's some things that didn't quite go in.
Permeate, yeah.
But it's going to happen.
I'm annoyed with myself at that moment, not annoyed at the teach. I'm annoyed with myself because I didn't pick that up. I'm like, I didn't do that. It's more of like that frustration. But then I'm like, it doesn't matter. I've learned to then step away and go, it doesn't matter, it's a learning game.
But I'm happy to teach people the game. And again, then you've got to factor in the time and when you're playing it and all those kind of things. Conventions, you kind of have to do it because you can't expect people to prepare for 7 games over a convention weekend. No. It's just not going to happen.
Especially if they don't know at the start of the weekend, if they don't know they're going to be playing a game on Sunday, there should be no expectation.
Exactly.
And it depends, as you say, it depends on the type of game. If Defense of Procyon 3 is hitting the table, you are going to tell everyone that they need to know what to do in advance to some level.
Yes.
And you are also not going to be able to track their turns in the way that would be for a beige Euro would probably be quite possible, where you can expect them not to really turn up with too much knowledge, and you can.
We were really lucky in that first play because we had the designer.
But this, you played it again with 3 people around the table who hadn't played it before, and the expectation was you need to learn this to some extent before we start.
Here's your rule book. Here's a video. Watch it and read it, please. You might not know everything. You might not understand everything in it. But if you come with that contract of, look, it's a learning game, and Tambo, I'm looking at you because I know you had a.
I knew how to play it. I did learn my faction.
But
I did one bad move.
But you didn't know the strategy, which is fair. You're not going to know that. The game might teach you this is what you need to look out for, but you ain't going to know that until you play it for the first day. It's just it's such a unique game. So you were prepared in terms of how it played mechanically and what you were trying to do, but strategically didn't kind of work, and you got punished the crap out of it by Curly, gloated and took relish.
Well, it's when the push the buttons thing backfired big time.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's one of those. And
what faction were you playing?
I was the Earth Defense, trying to get scientists off the planet. But I thought I was going to attack them and put them white wall, and I lost 2 leaders, and it was just bad. It was just, and then it was just whitewash.
Yeah. It is just one of them things. But
I would never do that again next time. I want to play it again, definitely. I just won't do that ever again. But
it's a great example. So asymmetrical games, Root, Defense of Procyon 3, anything that's really heavily asymmetrical. And I felt bad as a teacher. Not really. I wasn't really a teacher in the game because I couldn't. I was like, I can't read my full rule book and watch my video and watch yours and read yours and yours and yours and yours and tell you what to do. And I was like, you're kind of on your own in that game. And it's a weird place to be for me as a teacher of games. Really, really not comfortable. But it's kind of like, sorry, T, but you're on your own. The same with everyone else.
I'll always say as well, 80% of my experience of playing a new game, watching a video or how it plays, it makes it more enjoyable. For me, myself. Every time I watch a video and then got taught it, and I knew something about it, it clicks a lot better, and I have much more. It's like a warm up, basically. So it's much better.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. I like the analogy.
The little gym.
Yeah, exactly. So our first whose turn trainer tip is that people's basically fun and enjoyment levels come over your own kind of enjoyment in that sense while you're training, depending on the game.
Depending on the game. Yeah.
So can we just put that as a caveat for 90% of what we're going to say here is depending upon the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't try and lift too much.
And trainer tip too.
Yeah,
warm up.
Yeah, warm up.
It does help. It definitely helps.
Some responsibility.
Yeah,
in brackets goes to the player.
Yeah, you'll pull a muscle, guys.
Yeah. Don't pull that brain muscle.
No, you don't.
Next day. Cool. All right, so we'll go on to the next one. I struggle with teaching games because I think I've got quite a fragmented mind in the way that I learn a game.
Yes.
It's like listening to a pinball machine sometimes, isn't it? It's just like, wait, what's that?
Nudge.
Because sometimes I like to learn it backwards rather than forwards to maybe how someone else will learn. I'll be like, all right, how do I score VPs? Or my first thing I look at is the symbols, which is weird, and maybe weird to some people. But do you have... So my own personal tip for this would be how I like to learn is I'll look at symbols and I'll learn the symbols like a language, and then I'll take the rules in afterwards and see how they all link together. Might sound a little bit strange and weird, but has anyone got any of their own kind of ways that they like to learn a game? Or
Yeah, I teach a game in it's kind of a methodical way.
Yeah.
Doesn't always happen on the night because it depends on tiredness and other factors, but generally it's what the hell this theme setting is. Generally, how you win, complete, finish. High level overview of structure, phasing, round. Then start deep diving into, well, stage 1 is this, stage 2 is that, stage 3 is this, and then it's kind of like layers of the cake that you kind of go down rather than going straight into, well, this action spot right here this is what you do to get gold, and then to get the gold you go and then I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm probably coming at it from a traditional
like a layer cake.
Like a layer cake of just high level, summarize, deeper, then deeper, and to the point where either people go, we've got this now, we can probably go forward, or actually I'm still confused about this particular action, or whatever it is.
So less onion-like, more layer cake.
More layer cake. Because I know you basically like in...
I'm probably like an onion, right?
No, you're like a Tarantino film.
Yeah, it's like a pyramid, isn't it? So Davey starts at the bottom of the pyramid and then figures out how to get to the top. We all start at the top and sort of show them, right, here's your basic overview, and then sort of work downwards.
Which is why I think with my teaching it's abstract as well, which is probably why I'm not the best teacher, because this is how I like to learn it. It's not how everyone else likes to learn it.
It's tough though.
But sometimes you nail a teach, right? So I've been open and said, like, sometimes I really dislike your teachers because they're just chaotic sometimes. Yeah. But sometimes you absolutely nail it because you start with, here's the core component of what you're going to need to do to win. And then you kind of still work that way. So you've not kind of done it in the same sense, but you've taken the core of it. I think the sometimes when I sort of struggle is when there's too much sandbox going on, and you sort of to that point, let's start with this action over here, and I'm like, but what happened? But why?
How do we get there? Why are we doing this? So
sometimes it really does work, and you really do nail it. So don't give yourself a hard time on that, because I think there's been a few teachers, and I thought, damn, that's really worked. But I think it is that if there's a more linear route, you absolutely nail it, because here's your core theme. It's when it becomes a bit more sandboxy that it's that. I think the easy way is then to follow the more traditional method of, here's what you're doing, here's how to score points, detail sort of thing is kind of that then better one for me and how I learn anyway.
Yeah. How about yourself, Tambo?
Yeah, exactly the same. I think, Jay, when we first started the podcast, we had a whole thing about this, didn't we? I did JP to put the structures in. Ever since I've done the structure thing. Yeah. You start with the VPs, or the theme, VPs, and then you try to work backwards, and then that's how I do it always. I have done a few teachers where you've done it so many times and you forget about the VPs. And
I had one of White Castle only about 2 weeks ago. Got to the end of the teach and they went, so victory points. And I was like, yes, there's a victory point tracker. You've picked up that there's victory points. Let me show you the symbol for victory points, and now retroactively point out everywhere that there's a victory point on this board.
Yeah. That's why I said, like, when I remember. Because I found that maybe now, comparing to maybe 4 years ago, my teachers are lazier for sure. Like, you get over a long day, you got people coming around, you're just like, I just want to get into it, man. Whereas before it'd be like properly prepared and would have done like everything to a T. So yeah, I think when you remember, and I've had that and gone, oh shit, I've forgotten the goal aspect of this teach. Quite important. People need to know why.
Whose turn trainer tip 3 is be methodical with your teach and don't skip leg day. So now we're going to not be in the room training with you, but we're going to turn into your PT instead, your personal trainer, and we're going to demo a game for you, right?
Okay.
So with demoing, is there a structured approach that you like to take? Is there a certain kind of rule book, or do you go by the game's own advice on how to demo the game?
Well,
because there's the way, and I know Paul from Gaming Rules, to mention him again, loves to demo a game, is you go through a like a playbook where you go, this is a structured turn. So green will, like it's scripted, yeah. So green will do this, someone will do this, and you go around the table until they've kind of got a method into what they're doing. So I think when we were taught Luthier,
exactly the same.
It was the same. I don't like to be taught that way, but I think it works in the majority, when, especially from demoers. As I said, everyone's different, but I think it does work for the majority.
It works for an expo, I think it is good. I think, where you've got 25 minutes. So like we've done different demos and we've seen different demos, right? And we've seen those, you've got 25 minutes to get like a flavour of the game and to walk away understanding a little bit about it. And then we've done demos where it's, I'm going to show you the whole game. And I think those scripted turns work best at those expo, for me at least. Again,
for that short segmented time.
I've got 20 minutes to get through to you everything that you can do, and it'll be right. Here's your 1 or 2 scripted turns, then maybe 1 or 2 turns of your own, and then that's it. The game's over. But you're not going to have scored points. You're not going to have developed a strategy of your own, that kind of thing in it.
I think it works, but those work best when that player is also involved with everyone else's turn as well, right? Because then they're seeing how the game can play. Whereas if that's a person who maybe turns off during other people's turns, it's not going to hit them as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm that kind of player, because I would have paid attention, but I'd like being left to my own devices and try and work out myself and try and figure out that challenge. And then those kind of demos take that away from me.
Yep.
But when you're doing the expo, you've got to do what works for the majority. And I think you're right, is that probably works for, probably 70-80% of people. So
yeah, I don't know that it actually works for everyone in the sense of giving them freedom. I think what it does is it teaches everybody all of the actions required in the quickest, simplest way possible.
Well, it shows them the whole scope of the game, right? In that sense.
Yeah, but even I quite like it, because I know that I'll get 25 minutes and I'll get to see everything. Whereas we've had other teachers, which is just, okay, here's the basic actions, off you go. And you're kind of like, I don't know how this all fits together, right? So I think it railroads people into having to learn and getting to see everything. So it takes away that sense of decision-making and autonomy of being able to make an active decision, but it takes it away because it's giving you the teach as quickly and as efficiently as it can in a short period of time. But if we talk about like when we do gaming rules ones or whatever, or when we do like live streams or whatever, it's much more of a, here is all the rules like I would teach you normally, and off you go. And I'll just keep an eye but not play.
Yeah. I think for me, I've demoed the gaming rules, but that demo is more like a full playthrough.
It is.
You get the time allotted.
It's an assisted playthrough.
It's assisted playthrough, so it's not really it's not a demo. Whereas I've been in Essen and I demoed for Mind Clash, and they do a lot of time for their demos. In fairness, so I don't tend to go down the scripted route for those, and I don't know if I would anyway. I think for me, I kind of like to get them into the play as fast as possible, because you've got to remember, why are we demoing the game? The demoing the game is just to get them interested in the game and see if it's for them or see if it's not for them. That's really what demo's purpose is. And I think when people go to demo, they forget that. So the first thing I always do is to remind them that this is a demo. So don't sit and overanalyze your turns, guys. Just like I say, push some buttons and leave, see what happens, see if this is the sort of thing to do. And you can see them and they go, right, it's your turn. And you're like, oh God, what shall I do? So doesn't matter. Like,
do something.
Just do something. Like, if you want the recommendations, I'm here. Like, why don't you try that? Okay, cool. And we can get them kind of getting through around as quickly as possible. And I'm happy to kind of explain as we go, more than I would on a standard night where I'm trying to teach a game. Then for me, getting them to experience it, it's probably more attuned to what you would want, Davey, from a demo, which is I'm letting you do what you want to do. You can explore this puzzle how you want to see if it is right for you. I think sometimes the danger of script, and I don't think it's the wrong thing, I think it can help. And I've had experiences of good and bad scripted demos. The danger in a scripted thing is that you may be showing you an element of the game that's not what you would do, and therefore maybe go,
you won't enjoy that.
I'm not enjoying it. But then, like you said, not paying attention to the other three so much. And what's going on over there? What did you do? I don't know. So kind of going back to scripted, like I don't want to kind of rag on Ada's Dream as the example, but like Ada's Dream, love the game. It's a great game. But the scripted demo we had, I walked away going, I don't know what.
But that wasn't scripted.
Wasn't it?
That was move a dice and I'll tell you what that dice does.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
And for me, that's not scripted. That is, here's your playground, go after it.
Yeah.
I might do something wrong. I might not, I might
I think it was the worst of both worlds, though, wasn't it?
It kind of was.
Yeah.
And again, it's tough because we've ragged on this one demo a lot.
Because it was kind of scripted because it said what each one of us should do, but then it didn't tell us what that would do until we did it. Yeah. And
was missing the
then
why.
they explained it afterwards, rather than with a normal scripted demo is you'll do those things and it'll kind of explain why you're doing it as you're doing it.
And then normally a good scripted demo is designed to set you each up with a way forward in the next couple of turns.
Yeah.
So like in Luthia, it was, okay, well, I've set you up so that you can build an instrument straight away. I've set you up so that you have a better engine.
Yeah.
I've set you up and that was kind of the point of the Luthia script, and a few other scripts I've seen is kind of, I'll set you up with going each of you will now go down a kind of a different path ideally. But if you decide not to go down that path because you've seen a better route, it kind of removes a part of that script. But I think it's one of those where really you're just trying to get as across as much. Either way, you're just trying to get across as much of a feel as you can, as quickly as into that time slot. And again, we've sat down and had 25-minute demos of really complex games, and we've sat down and had 2-hour demos of slightly easier games ultimately in conventions. And it's kind of that combination of how quickly do they want to move through people when they're doing that convention, how quickly do they need to get through, how many tables have they got available, versus how much of the game do they want you to sort of see before you buy.
I think,
so going from the other side, being demo 2, because I've never demoed a game.
I've never demoed a game. No.
Demoed a game. So for someone demoing to us, Tambo, what do you look for?
Well, okay, so I've enjoyed most demos sometimes when they're the big complex games when they've done like 3 turns ahead and they've already set you up a kind of an engine.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then you get the full experience of the game. I've had a few of them, not too many of them, but then I like that. That was good.
So it shows you kind of
they've already, like Adrian just said, they've just kicked you off an engine already. Yeah. And then you keep going with that engine and it just shows you the feel of the whole game instead of starting from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm not
we
that first
had that
one.
with
Deep Regrets. Yeah, I was just thinking of that.
Works. Yeah. Also, I do think you need that personal attention. I've had some demos where they've come along, told you how it goes, and then you end up, hello, or I have to read the rule book. And I'm like, it puts me off when I do a demo.
Yeah, as soon as you have to get the rule book out, I think that's an instant dismiss of that game, right?
Well, we did Monumental Duel.
Yeah.
And if you hadn't played Monumental, we'd have just sat there and read the rule book.
Yeah, that's
at
true.
the table.
Yeah.
Because it was, are you guys okay? Well, we're halfway set up. And we're kind of halfway through because Davey knew what was kind of going on. Oh, right, okay.
Because it played like the best bit of that game. It was the card bit.
We'd already been sat there for 15, 20 minutes before anyone kind of came over and went, how's that going for you? And you're like, what?
You raise a really good point, T, about attention. And the kind of link to that is sometimes the energy of the person. Like, we've had great demos of people who have had great energy. And that's what you remember. You remember it as an experience. And it's like, that was cool. So if
Shout out to Will.
Will from Dranda, right? And if you have a good experience, you're going to tie that to the game. So I remember I had a great experience with Galactic Cruise. We'll always talk about the experience that we had at Galactic Cruise.
My first launch.
Yeah. And the way he built that experience of demoing was basically to gear you up for your first launch into space. And he made it a thing. So that's what we're going to do. And you knew that was where you were going. You knew that's when the demo was going to end. And you're just building your way up to your first launch. And he just made a massive deal. And but you had attention.
Yeah.
He was there making jokes, just really attentive. And I think that is so key for demoing.
And then on the other end, we had the guy who was nearly dying from a hangover. Do you remember that? Me and Adrian, we got taught, what was it called? I've got the game as well, and I could still teach
So it worked.
because he did teach us the game, and it was simple enough. It was the one where you have the tiles of the animals, and as well as the
Fall.
So So he looked like he was dying.
He did. I did
from
a
a
teach.
hangover.
So you were trying to get a box of it, and someone walked up, and he looked like, if I have to teach this game again, I'm going to vomit, basically. So I was like, I'll teach them how to play, and taught them a demo of a game I'd played once myself. And they're like, oh, this is good. Have you done many of these demos? Well, no, this is the first one because I thought I'd help him out.
Yeah, I think he was really hungover because at first he was like, has he got the flu or something? But
No,
then
he's
thinking about it, it was acid, yeah.
He did look drunk.
Yeah, it looked like he was,
German beer.
yeah,
It's a thing.
reevaluating his life choices. But yeah, so that's kind of all ends of the spectrum. We've got being demo 2 as well as demoing. So tip 4 of Who's Turn training tips is while being demo 2 or demoing, bring the energy, basically. That's the only way I can summarize it is try and be enthusiastic about the game you're learning about. And also if you're demoing, try and be enthusiastic about the game you're teaching.
Yeah.
And basically that will keep the energy levels high for those expos. And if you've never been demo 2, get yourself to an expo.
Try it out.
Try it out. You'll enjoy it.
One of those things I've noticed, which is if you work in retail, is kind of one of those things they try and drill into you is you've had 22 customers, 34 customers, whatever it is. For that customer, that's their one interaction with you. The energy should be as high at the end of the day as it is at the start.
To do, though.
And it's very hard to do, but the number of sort of wishy-washy Sunday demos I've had because people are clearly running on fumes at that point.
Yeah.
And they're normally volunteers, right? So you can't have too much of a go at them, but you're like, man, you look tired.
But also, if you're being demo 2, try and understand that, and also if you're high spirits, you probably help lift them up as well.
100%.
So don't go into it, kind of expecting the world as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So there we go. I think that's probably going to conclude our demoing and teaching tips. We could go over some personal tips if you want.
I've got my 6-pack now. So
Yeah, there you go. I've got 6-pack on my forehead.
I've got a keg.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Mine's
It's not just 6-packs, my keg's best.
Mine's just wrinkles on my forehead, so it's from all the frowning I do. But yeah, let's do some gaming tips then. Own personal gaming tips. Can we reel some off? Can we think of some?
The only thing I was going to say for training and teaching is you do not have to explain every symbol. So don't show every single card in a deck off just to sort of be like, right, okay, this one, if it comes up, does this. But at the same time, don't hide all the components away so no one knows what anything looks like until it turns up. So if there's a deck of cards, show them a couple of examples from the deck of cards and then go, when these turn up, I will explain what they do.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
sometimes less is more.
Yes, you don't need to teach the entire, especially with a deck of cards where it's like, if you think of like June Imperium or something like that.
Oh, God, yeah.
You're not going to teach what every card does in that deck. But I have had that experience where someone wanted to show me every symbol and what it did and all that lot. Do not worry about that. But at the same time, show them a couple of cards. Here's what the top of the card does. Here's the bottom. Here's the cost. Here's the benefit.
Any more questions, ask me as we play.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I will explain them as they come up if it's a new
needed.
symbol we've not seen for the first time. And I think that is just a very simple way to do it, but gets a nice balance of both. Whereas I've had plays where people have insisted almost on not touching the decks or showing them off or anything like that while they're trying to teach, and it makes things really abstract. And I've also had someone who's basically put the entire deck out and gone, right, this card, this card, this card, this card, this card. And I was like, please don't. Like,
card number 360.
yeah.
So I do have a last parting tip is don't be too hard on yourself if you mess up a rule. I think that's a good one because it happens, and sometimes, especially if it's the first time you've also played the game and you've learned and you're trying to teach everyone else, it's probably going to happen. It's happened in like pretty much
most
games, especially if it's your first time as well. So it's going to happen. It's a learning game. Don't be too hard on yourself, or don't be too hard on the person teaching you. They've taken their time out to teach you. It's gonna. People make mistakes.
Because normally what happens is you remember that rule as it comes up for you or someone else, and you're like, "Oh, hold on a second. You know that thing you were going to do. You can't. I should have said that. Let's ignore that for now, or whatever it is. Fudge it through, and then next time you'll get it right." Sort of thing.
And sometimes the rules can be not phrased objectively, so they can be subjective in the way that you've taken that rule. So you've brought that rule to the table, and someone's then questioned it, and you've went, "Oh, okay. Is that And then you read the sentence again. You think, oh, okay, so that actually means that instead. And then people go, oh, wait a minute. So that rule's been in. You're like, yeah, I'm sorry. You're right with that. But it happens, right?
I got to about 4 games of Century before we found out that the convert card can be done as many times as you want to convert. We thought it could only be done once. And we played it like that for 4 games easily. And then someone came in and went, no, I can do this twice using one convert card. Go get the rules. Oh, yeah, it does say that literally on the rules. But easy done.
Yeah, it is.
I think my tip kind of follows on from what you said, Davey, very similar. Is you're in a game state, you've already done the teach. Let's say you've done it as well as you could do it. And the rule question comes up. And of course, you want to look it up. You want to get it right. But what you don't want to do is spend 10 minutes doing it.
Nope.
So sometimes you make a judgment
in that moment.
And in the moment and agree that's how that will be played or interpreted and get on with the game and get people back into the game. And then afterwards, when you packed it up, and I do this a lot, especially with first plays, I go to bed and I look and I'm looking through the rule book or whatever and go, oh, ooh. And then I kind of share that, actually. I share that with players and go, right, we did cock a few things up, guys. These are the things of how it plays. Because, you know, some of the games we play are really complex.
Like too Freud, too furious.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Conscious mind.
Unconscious mind.
It's going to happen. But realising that is all part of the experience. So even after you finish your first play and after you've done the teach, you're learning about the rules that you got wrong and things like that. It's all part of it, and don't worry about it. Like you say, don't beat yourself up because it wasn't perfect. As long as everyone had a laugh.
A lot of like war games and stuff like that will have a rule in there that says you take the 2 opinions. One person's opinion is right on 1, 2, or 3.
Yep.
The other one's right on a 4, 5, 6 on a roll of a dice. Job done.
Yeah.
Get on with it. Figure it out another time.
Exactly.
Look up the FAQ.
Yeah.
There's nothing that takes the enjoyment out of a game more than everyone's then suddenly having to stop and wait for someone to read through a rule book and try and
also
get to thin it down, right?
Arguing over a point as well that can kind of lead to a negative, contentious kind of play experience, which is like, look, I don't know, it's new, I can't see it immediately. I've read through the rule book, but you don't memorize this thing front to back. So I'm interpreting this way. This is how it will be. If I got that wrong, hands up. I'll check later properly.
On the other side, you can also be like, I don't think it's rude to ask to read the rule book either and have a skim through yourself.
100% no.
It's fine.
Yeah. As long as it's not on your turn.
As long as it's not on your turn.
That's the I was
rule,
just
right?
thinking about adding that in as a do not sit there for 15 minutes looking up a rule when you can play your turn quickly.
Yeah.
And then look it up while you've got 3 other people's turns
problem with that.
To read through. Or go, I just need to know this and hand it to the person who just had their turn and I'm sure they'll look it up for you as well.
Because no one's going to sit there unless you're really like competitive to the point where you want to win and that rule is enabling you to win, which I don't know anyone who'd be that petty to kind of go, well, I want this rule to be interpreted this way, so I win. So actually everyone would want to play the right way. And actually, if it's a case of, that thing we did last round, it's not this, it's that, oh, crap, sorry, I didn't get that. Fine, just agree to play it either from now on in that way or just agree. As long as everyone's agreeing, that's the point. Just agree. It's all good.
Anything for you, Tambo?
Just a standard tip. That's what everyone's good for. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
100%.
Yeah, so always don't be afraid and have a bit of consideration for the person who teaches. If it's his go, make sure he has his go because I'm terrible for it. So when normally JP does things, I try and make him finish his turn, then I ask him the question.
Yeah.
It's better for the person who does teach.
You're considerate.
Well,
That's
try.
a good one.
Tim.
That is a
try
really
and be a
good
bit
one.
considerate for the person to the person who teaches. Yeah,
I've done it.
I might start doing that now.
Yeah.
Because I did it for Ada's dream when it's middle of his turn. And we ask him a question.
Oh, no,
and then
no.
he's like, let's have a look. And then we're like, oh, wait, it's JP's turn.
Yeah.
And I caught myself doing it. I was like, have your turn first, mate. And then we'll look. Then we'll
I
have
can't
a look.
remember the game that we were playing. I think T, you were on it. I think Mark, Mr. Monk, there's the one stamp for the Thea.
Got to get it in.
Ninja Geek Games was on it. I can't remember the game, but I just remember.
Oh, it wasn't Sunavalo, was it?
no,
No.
just
Zero
don't play that.
confidence.
No, it was a game where I was teaching it and it was like a barrage of questions. Like it's the most amount of questions I've had in a teaching game ever. It was like, how's this work? No, JP, how's this work? I don't know. It's like, Jesus Christ. Just
Dominant's
get in the
Edge?
queue.
Was it that one?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
But I just remember.
I can't remember the one. Yeah.
Overwhelmed with, oh my God, like just.
How bad was this teach the first time around that you've still got this many questions?
Did I cock this up or something? I can't remember the game, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, it was funny.
There we go. So that is our workout, conclusion, our tip. So hopefully everyone's feeling, a little bit sweaty and, endorphins running high.
Yeah.
Don't forget your cool down stretches.
We've got to do the cool
down stretches. Yeah, there we go. After the board game play, remember, cool down with a lighter game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, your cool down is putting it away.
Yeah. Right. So that's our main segment, and we're going to move on to our new segment, which is going to be called So, this is Haiku with a clue. So I'm going to read you a haiku, which is going to be about a board game. You guys don't say anything, and then we'll go through and see what you guys thought it was game-wise. And if you don't get it, I'll give you a clue. Okay? It's like being on a radio talk show, isn't it? With
Radio 4.
Weird Radio 4, yeah. With those... Fucking... It's not going to be as intelligent as Radio 4, let's face it. So, we're going to...
Of course it isn't.
We're going to start off with cards turn, hearts pause soft, one more draw, luck leans closer, cheers or quiet sighs.
Happy New Year. Say it again.
Turn.
Cards turn, hearts pause soft. It's more to do with how you're feeling. One more draw, luck leans closer, cheers or quiet sighs. So
Push your luck.
Mm-hmm. That's all I got out of all of those, I'll be honest.
do you all want a clue then? You feeling? Do you not have it? Do you not have a clue? So you want a clue?
It's a push your luck game with cards.
Yeah.
It's recent.
Is it Flip 7?
I've never played Flip 7, so wouldn't have a clue.
We'll never clear if it's Flip 7. So.
It's Flip 7.
I was thinking push your luck card game. It's the only one
If
I
you got
play.
that without a clue, you get 2 points, right, guys? At home. I don't know what you can do with these points, but maybe you can cash them in with whose turn is it anyway?
Yeah, you get whose turn
Towards
is
the
it
end of
anyway
the year.
vouchers
Yeah.
that you can spend at GridCon to stay at Davey's house. I can't promise that because that is a perk for the coffee supporters.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
Basically,
can stay around my house.
Anyone's a coffee supporter at GridCon who needs a place to stay in Taunton.
Yeah.
Davey's
If it's
your man.
nice weather, tent in the garden.
Tent in the garden.
Right.
November.
I did camping in November.
You did.
So, dust roads stretch westward. Cattle mark the passing days. Profit rides the rail.
Come on, T.
I think this is tease.
You own this. I'm sure you do.
If it's what I think it is, it's...
Well, you own a version of this.
Just do the first line again.
Dust roads stretch westward. Cattle mark the passing days.
Okay.
Moo.
Profit rides the rail.
Great Western Trail.
Great Western Trail. Didn't even need a clue. 2 points to you.
2
Tambo.
points.
Right. And then for the last one, because I'm not going to drag this on.
Fair.
Land shifts at a touch. Factions shape earth into home. Power hums below. Power hums below.
Say it again.
Lands shift at a touch. Factions shape earth into home. Power hums below.
I think I've not played this, but I'm going to think I know what it is.
Cool. I don't think you have played it.
Yeah. It's either Age of Innovation or Terra Mystica, I'm going to say.
So I've gone with the original. Terra Mystica. It is Terra Mystica.
Nice.
There we go. Doesn't need a clue either. There we go. And that is Haiku.
With no
And
clue.
no clues.
No clue. Well, we had one clue in the end.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.
Will this be back in your next episode?
I think I enjoy it, but I don't know if anyone else does.
No, it's fine.
so-
What we
Get
can
used to it. It's fine. Just
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
one. We get used to it. It's fine.
This is your run. You can do what you want.
Yeah, yeah.
But if people
I
are
mean,
missing,
just for the name alone, Haiku with a clue.
I bet you that's what you started with. Wasn't it? You were like, you know what? I've got a great name for a segment.
We've got a
I
segment.
just played Ghosts of Tsushima, so that's all it was. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, oh, these haikus are nice and relaxing, and I thought it'd be a good wind down after
That's fine. I quite enjoyed
after
it.
our session.
I quite enjoyed it. I think if anyone's kind of going, oh, but what about Connect 4? I'm sure it'll be back.
I'm sure it'll be back.
So
It's
don't worry.
It's nice.
It's just
That requires no effort on anyone's part, so I'm sure that'll be back.
It's the easiest segment to run for us.
We're moving on to the penultimate turn. Moving on to the penultimate turn. So, starting with Adrian, what are you getting up to?
I don't really know what I'm getting up to game-wise, so there's a few different bits and pieces that are kind of board game adjacent. So my board game table arrived just before Christmas.
Yay.
The brave people delivered at 9 p.m. on the Friday before Christmas because
Jeez.
they got stuck in traffic at London. And played on it, lovely, but getting a new table, getting new chairs and getting the bits and pieces sorted so that game room will be finished and I get to just enjoy it, which is one thing. And then the other thing I thought I'd quickly talk about that I'm kind of looking forward to, but I think is also just going to be a challenge, is I love designing board game inserts and I have used Tinkercad for ages because it is just nice and simple. It is the Lego bricks version of how to build anything in there. And I kind of got to a point where I'm reaching my limit with, I know I can do this, but I can't really do it in Tinkercad. So I have been learning Fusion, CAD software.
Yeah.
This is an entirely different beast.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
knew it would be a little bit, but I've started doing some like YouTube courses and it's so different. So with like Tinkercad, it's like take square, take
Yeah.
cube, put cube on mat, right? Make cube with hole, put that in the middle. There you go. There's a box. With Fusion, it's draw a box, a 2D box, then extrude that up, then create an counter extrusion with a wall of this, and it's just very different way of thinking. And I'm gonna, I think, enjoy the challenge of it, but I think it is going to be a challenge.
Reminds me of 3ds Max, that kind of 3D
Yeah.
software stuff. Yeah.
And I've never used anything like it before, but I love designing 3D prints and stuff for inserts. It's actually part of the hobby for me. And I am really looking forward to learning Fusion more so that I can make better board game inserts and I can do more funky things with it.
Nice.
I'd like to see eventually you do 3D models of all of us that we can get printed out.
Yeah.
I'm not doing actual modeling. This is
No, we
creating,
can move it on. This is your next step. This is the
caricature
final
versions.
step. There
this
we go.
is creating just simple boxes, but better boxes than
Better
I was
boxes.
creating before.
Fancy rectangles.
Yeah. So that's
And
kind
maybe
of
the odd parallelogram.
yes. I did that before, so I did.
Okay.
I have created random shaped boxes
Trapezoids.
and stuff like that before. But this all came about because I got my table and was loving it, and I just wanted to create some 3D printed like bits that hang off of the groove
Yep.
on the outside of the table or off the inside as well. And cheeky because Natural 20 does do some of what I want, but not quite the way I want it. So I thought, okay, well, I'll 3D print it. And I started designing it in Tinkercad and I was like, I can't do this in this bit of software. And I'd already come across a couple of those before. And I was like, no, I'm going to go away and I'm going to learn a better,
Level it up.
a sort of more adaptable version of 3D CADing. And so that's what I'm looking forward to doing.
So that's what Adrian's getting up to. How about yourself, JP?
Yeah, this I've got an upcoming trip, and I'm heading off to the mountains with my brother
Ooh.
and snowboarding.
Nice.
Very excited for. So it's quite nice. I've had Christmas and I've had a lovely time, our family and all that kind of stuff. And I think what's getting me through finishing Christmas and going back to work is knowing that in a couple of weeks I'm leaving work
Yeah.
and going away for a week.
Nice.
So thinking about what games to take to the mountains, obviously not in the day.
What
'cause
mountain range you going to? The Alps?
It'd be the
or-
Alps,
Nice.
yeah, in the French Alps. And it's a place called
The Lac?
Valminia. It's,
Valminia?
Yeah. It's
nice.
a small place. Been before. It's very nice. But yeah, I'm just thinking about games, and it'd be quite nice to hang with my bro because me and him don't like go away together. We haven't been away together for God, I can't even remember. Long time ago. You know, we all got our separate lives and
Yeah.
things like that. So yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to just getting some good quality time with him and trying to think, what game shall I bring?
Pull those gastros.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely feel it down on those muscles afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The first day is always the hardest.
It's rough.
And then once
Deep
you get
heat.
through...
Deep heat is my friend.
And a sauna.
Anything just warm.
Yeah.
A rub down.
We had
So either way. So thinking of games, thinking of what we can bring like for the evening and sit in the pub and après-ski because I won't have it with me for sure. But probably some card games will come. Flip 7 will no doubt come along.
Nice.
And maybe something a bit more meatier for
get some other people playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. How about yourself, Tambo?
Not too much going on. Game-wise, I got Civ: The New Dawn coming up. I've never played it. Always wanted to play it, so I'm glad I'm on that one now.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm playing that with Carly.
Next week, isn't it?
Next week, yeah. That's my next exciting game. Apart from that, I'm loving Dungeon Crawler Carl at the moment. I'm absolutely adoring it. I'm on book 6 now.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing, yeah.
So Becky's recommendation, was it?
Yeah, since Becky mentioned it, I thought, I'll listen to my first audiobook ever, and I've just hit the whole 6 books now. So far.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, really good. I do recommend it to listen to it if you do audiobooks.
Cool.
Yeah, book 5 is my favourite so far. But yeah, good. It's really good.
Okay.
And for me, I'm looking forward to... So I've been smashing out Arc Raiders.
Yeah.
I've been absolutely hitting that hard as well. I just love that game. It gives me nostalgia like no other game. But I've also got, hopefully Tricarion coming up. But we'll see. I might have to work, which sucks. But if not, then D&D. Always look forward to our D&D sessions with Stuart running them. We have a great time. I think Rob wants to host the next one because he wants to do it on his new gaming table. So looking forward to that as always.
It's very nice. This table's very nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So pick the weird mushroom druid will come out and cause havoc to Stuart's brain. So
You're welcome, Stuart.
I always look forward to it, and we've got a little bit more backstory going into this one that we're injecting in slowly because I think he's done it in a real good way in that we've slowly kind of gone into it. We went into it just being like, make your characters, and then as we've developed, Stuart's fleshed out the story because I think also for him, you don't know how long this is going to take. You don't know if everyone's going to be committed. But now, because we're all committed and we're all enjoying it, including Stuart, hopefully, he started obviously getting more of a backstory from us and then going from there instead.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, as a DM, you're probably investing too much time elsewise and people might not see it through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like Stuart. He makes it like when you play a game, he does a story afterwards of the game we play, which is really cool. I always like reading them.
Yeah, he does. So we get a little feedback of everything that we've done. So yeah.
Cool. Nice one, mate.
Yeah, nice one.
Well, so that's been Whose Turn Is It Anyway? It's been James, JP, Adrian, and Tambo. And thank you for listening, as always. You can find our socials at the bottom of the download and our link. Please give us a follow. Always helps us out. And if you want to support us further, you can go to Coffee or Ko-Fi and put a little donation in there. You'll get access to some of our episodes early. As I say, you get access to our Discord, but come along to our Discord anyway. Come and join us. We chat in there, and you can see some of the more unhinged things we say. But other than that, it's been, hopefully it's been fun recording it, and hopefully you've had a fun time listening. And as always, whose turn is it anyway? Don't know.
Still yours.
Still yours.
Yeah, it's still mine. I got 2 more episodes.
It's your first one of it.